Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I'm bringing you a video tonight titled "A Case for Sexually Attractive Men and Younger Women." But before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And to continue to help me to get pushed up the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these more elevated messages in the dating space. But let's get right to it. A case for sexually attractive men and younger women. There's a lot that went into me coming up with this title tonight. And there's a lot that we're going to observe from many different spectrums in order to solidify the case that I'm going to present to you. That the younger woman is the ideal and perfect match for the sexually attractive man. And when it comes to the sexually attractive man, he has to be cognizant of what his optimal choice is. He has to be cognizant of the woman that he can pair himself with and have a healthy and lasting experience with. And that is the focus of tonight. And I'm going to introduce something from Kevin Samuels, the Godfather. He's going to be the catalyst. Some of the things that I observed about him are going to be the catalyst of everything that I talk about tonight. And I can remember, and I'm going across a broad spectrum of what Kevin Samuels introduced. I can remember one particular night where he had his live broadcast, and no woman over 26 years old called into his broadcast, and he was so happy. And those women made an observation, those young women made an observation that they didn't have all of the answers. That's why they tuned into his show. But they wanted to avoid the traps and the snares and the dismal outcomes that the older women in their lives have experienced. And Kevin Samuels was overjoyed at the end of his broadcast that there wasn't a woman over the age of 26 that called into his show for guidance. At the opposite spectrum, Kevin Samuels talked about his mother and the mistake that she made and how she finally recognized that the version of herself that she was bringing to life every day got her unfavorable outcomes with men, the men that she wanted. And that in her later stage, in her later years, she made adjustments, she made changes because she valued the men that she really wanted. And those are the spectrums that we're going to cover tonight. But, you know, the younger woman, for the sexually attractive man, you know, through my experiences, through my observations, that's his natural match. I'm talking 8, 10, 14, 18 years younger. That's his natural match. And I say that because the women who are his age and older, they're so fixated in their way of moving, and they have such a willingness to not acknowledge the mistakes that they made that got them the results that they have in their life. Typically, the older woman has the residue of lower tier and lower quality men in her life, but she is satisfied with the version of herself that she's brought through life that gave her the dismal outcomes that she has to live with. She has to live with the BS of dealing with a baby father, an ex-husband, and all of the bullshit that comes along with trying to co-parent with a low-quality man. That's her reality. And she has an unwillingness to acknowledge that she stayed too long, that she made the wrong decision. See, for an older woman, and I'm going to break down the ages in a second, but for an older woman to acknowledge that she made a mistake in choosing the wrong man and to observe the residue of the low quality man in her life, that requires her to acknowledge that there are higher quality men out there. And since she's older, she doesn't have access to those men outside of sex. And the beautiful thing about it is what I said with Kevin Samuels and his mother. That older woman can still make adjustments and give herself a chance to get a quality man. It's not likely, but she can still give herself a chance. But to observe that there are actual quality men out there is going to make her make some changes. And she doesn't want to make those changes because she doesn't want to stare at the reality that even if she prepares herself for those kind of men, they're going to overlook her for the younger woman. So what she does is come to a conclusion in her mind that there are no quality men out here, especially with black men. There are no quality black men out here. They're not worth preparing for. So she's going to willingly take the same version of herself through life that got her dismal outcomes that she has to live with every day. Even though she could make some improvements and at least give herself a chance to get a quality man. And the younger woman, she doesn't have the residue of low quality men because a lot of the younger women don't have children. And that's the number one residue from a low quality man is you have his children and you have to deal with the bullshit that comes along with co-parenting with a low quality man. But the younger woman acknowledges the mistakes of the older women in her life. And even though she hasn't had the wisdom and guidance from the older women, because the older women despise the younger woman, because the younger woman has a chance to not make the mistakes that the older woman made, meaning her life and her trajectory can be completely different. And so the older women have failed her, but she's been able to hold on and just have experiences and encounter with low quality men and not have the residue of them. She doesn't have children. And she has youth on her side. And youth comes congruent with opportunity. So the younger woman that is a match for you acknowledges that she has opportunities that have evaded the older women in her life that will not make impartations into her life, that are going to tell her lies, going to give her willing misguidance, so that the younger woman can experience the same bullshit and terrible outcomes as her old ass. But these younger women are intelligent, and that's why, the broadcast of Kevin Samuels that I highlighted, no woman over 26 years old called into his show on a particular night, and they were looking for guidance, and each one of them said, I don't have all the answers, but I don't want to replicate the experiences of the older women in my life. The thing about a younger woman is that as a sexually attractive man, you're going to have a level of access to women from broad spectrums, older and younger. But the younger woman has to choose you for the right reasons. And she's open to your guidance as an older man. She's open to the hope that she can evade the frustration of the younger men in her life that are her age have been giving her. But she understands that she has youth on her side, meaning that she has time to make a quality decision and ride off into a healthy and quality sunset. That's why she's your match. And, you have a sexually attractive man, let's say 33, 34 and younger. Naturally, if you're really that guy, you're already dating women 10 years younger than you, 8 years, 9 years younger than you. And they're not looking to you as like a sugar daddy because you still have youth on your side as a 34-year-old man. But she's looking to you as someone that she can pair herself with. And that's why you pair with her, you give her a good experience, you're a little more successful than the men in her age range because she's 7, 8, 9, 10 years younger than you. But she still is sexually attracted to you, meaning she has a primal attraction to you. And so you show up in her life and you're more elevated. You've made decisions that have given you a solidified standing as a sexually attractive man. You're clicking on all cylinders. You still look young, you're taking care of yourself, you're successful, and she can't necessarily find that in men her age, but you're not so much older than her that she is mad that she has to deal with you. So you're her natural match. But then you have beyond like 34, and you get into your late 30s, maybe your early mid 40s, you're still going to have extremely young women checking for you. Not all of them, but there's going to be enough that look at you if you've kept yourself up. And that's what I really want to focus on for a second. As you get older as a man, your dating pool doesn't change in terms of getting younger women as long as you keep yourself up. As long as you pay attention to your diet, you're not out here boozing your life away and drinking your life away. You're paying very close attention to every elevated aspect of your life, your health, your appearance, your profession, meaning that the younger woman can look to you as a safe space that she can land in because she's sexually attracted to you and she knows that you can properly govern yourself, evidenced by the outcomes and results that you have in your life. That's why she's the natural match for the sexually attractive man, even as he's getting older. But to the contrary, the men who haven't necessarily kept themselves up, or even the men who have done the work, the older men who are, in that age range of, 35 to maybe 44, they've kept themselves up. And so you're going to encounter a wide spectrum of women. But what you're going to find is that you're going to experience bullshit from all sides. The young woman might be strong-minded and, not necessarily fixing her ways because she hasn't had enough life experience, but she just hasn't emotionally and mentally developed. So she's going to give you problems. Okay, that's the woman you discard. You have a couple experiences with her because she's sexually attracted to you because you kept yourself up. You have a couple experiences with her, you let her go. She's in the way. And then to the contrary, you're going to have some experiences with women your age and older, but the older women and the women your age, they're going to have the residue of lesser men in their life. And what they've done, and what you'll find out, and what they've done is they've convinced themselves that men are low quality. And if you're a black man watching this, they've convinced themselves that black men are low quality because they spent the most significant years of their life dealing with low quality black men. And they don't want to stare at the fact that there are higher quality black men. 54% of black men are in the middle class and single. 54% of black men are single and childless. 60% of black men are in the middle class. So for her to acknowledge you exist means that she has to acknowledge that she was not a match for these men and they look right through her. So what she'll do is conclude in her mind that you don't exist. And then she'll immediately undermine you when she meets you. And she's just a part of the spectrum of women in terms of age that you're going to meet. And they shapeshift, they disguise because they're attracted to you and they want to keep you. But the unwillingness to work on themselves and prepare themselves for the optimal, sexually attractive, all-cylinder clicking man that is you will rear its head, and it will rear its head early. She has a hatred for you. Because if she doesn't hate you, she has to acknowledge how many of her quality years that she squandered. And so you all are going to bump heads. And you all are going to bump heads because she has the residue of children and trauma and other low quality attributes of dealing with lower quality men in her best years. And so she's going to give you resistance. And then on top of that, as you deal with her, you're going to find out that she does not have a problem with how she's operating through life in the same manner that got her lower tier and dismal results. And so she's not your match. She's not your match. And some of them hold themselves together physically, which means that you're attracted to them and they're going to offer themselves to you. You're going to have some encounters. And within those encounters, you may even have a semblance of hope because it's hard to come across a woman that you really click with that desires you the same way that you desire her. So you may give an older woman with residue of low quality men in your space a chance, but her unwillingness to prepare for you is going to rear itself into the equation of you and her very early. She fucking hates you. She hates you. She has a low opinion of black men, and she's going to try to shapeshift and disguise it, but she can't hide it, because the only way that she can't hide it is to acknowledge that she made mistakes in giving insignificant men in her best years too much time of her life. And a lot of the older women that are your age, as you're getting older as a man, they don't want to acknowledge how much that they squandered the best years of their life dealing with lower quality men. So they've come to a conclusion that you don't exist. And so every progression that you have in your life, every advancement that you're making right in her face and in her space, she's going to undermine it. She's going to despise you for it, because she doesn't want to acknowledge that men like you exist. And so the older women are so far gone, and they're so stuck in their ways, that they're not a natural match for the sexually attractive man from that age group of, say, 30, 34, 35 to 44. She's not your match because she doesn't want to acknowledge that you exist. So the younger woman who is searching for knowledge and guidance, even though the older women in her life have purposely misguided her, she understands that she has youth on her side. The younger women who are intelligent enough to understand that the older women are purposely misguiding her are looking for an answer and guidance from a more older, sexually attractive man, because they're not necessarily getting it from the men in their age group, but they're mature enough to understand that these are the best years of her life, and she's looking to pair with a sexually attractive man, even if he's 10, 15 years older than her. And so that introduces the reality that as you're getting older as a man, you have to be clicking on all cylinders, because the younger woman hasn't been tainted as much as the older woman. She hasn't been tainted. The older women are tainted because they're fixated in their ways and they're unapologetic about it. And they're bringing a inferior version of themselves to you that's going to permanently compromise your quality of life if you pair with her. They're full of fucking trauma and problems. And don't even waste your time with them in terms of considering something serious. Don't even waste your time. And there are some older women who have worked on themselves, and you all are not going to have any conflict and problems. But those women pale in comparison. They're few and far between in comparison to the women who are getting older, who actually took inventory of themselves, got the therapy, got whatever wisdom and guidance that they needed, that they can be a match for you. Like I talked about Kevin Samuel's mother, that's why I use his spectrum. Those are few and far between. But if you're trying to play the game of probabilities, your match is the younger woman. And the younger woman, even though she doesn't have all of the answers, she's seeking guidance. And a lot of times the intelligent younger woman, she might come from a two-parent household. And her mother ran the house. Her father was under the thumb of her mother. I've had younger women tell me, you know, I grew up in a two-parent household, and my mother ran the house. My father was in submission to her. And it just didn't feel right. I knew that wasn't right. I knew I wanted different. I knew I wanted a man that I could respect, who could adequately lead me. These are the women who are the match for the sexually attractive man, even as she's getting older. Because she has an instinct that's aligned with her femininity, that's looking for true masculinity, even if she never witnessed it in a two-parent household. And she doesn't have the residue and the stains of going through life dealing with lower quality men. She doesn't have the divorces. She doesn't have the children, who she had in the marriage. Now she's a single mother. She doesn't have that shit. And she's intelligent enough to acknowledge that that's not what she wants. She sees it all around her, but she's trying to avoid it. So in walks you, the successful, sexually attractive man who's keeping himself up. And I'm going to say something in regards to that. That's what I'm going to end the video. Who's keeping himself up mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. You're recognizable to her on a primal level. She's not looking to you to be a savior because she still wants a man that she's sexually attracted to. She's looking to you to be a match. Yes, you're older, but you still are a match for her, and you have the residue of success in choices that you've made, elevated choices that put you in an elevated position in life. And a lot of older women, when they hear, the type of women I deal with women routinely, 17, 16, 15, 9, 10 years younger than me. And the older women, they'll try to shame me for that. But I could give two fucks about it because these younger women are coming at me the right way. Meaning that it's lust and desire and submission and a hope for guidance. That's how they're coming at me. That's how they can ask me to be in a relationship with them. Because they've seen inferior men in their life and they understood instinctively as a woman, as a feminine woman, that these types of men could not take her to her mountaintop, her sunset, because they weren't masculine. Masculinity pervades the decades. Masculinity is a ringing sign and a glaring look into the young woman's eyes that lets her know that you are a safe space. She's going to be taken care of if you've taken care of yourself. And that's what she's looking for. The younger woman, she wants no departure between you and the guys her age in terms of physical prowess, in terms of looks. And if you hold on as a man who's getting older, if you value physical, mental, spiritual, and physical, ascension in life, then there's not going to be a departure from you versus the younger men in her life that are not able to give her the wisdom and guidance and outcomes in a safe space that she's looking for. So as an older man, you're her natural landing space and her choice. But when you become that man, you have so many younger women checking for you that you understand that the younger woman is your actual match. You don't have to break through all of the bad decisions and residue of her bullshit, the decisions she's made. You have an open canvas of a young woman who you can spend time with and see if she's receptive to you. And if she's receptive to you, and she has enough intelligence to avoid the pitfalls of the older women in her life that have purposely misguided her, then she's going to be a receptive space in your life. And then you can give her guidance. And in turn, she's going to give you herself. Because you're everything that she was looking for. And there's not a departure between you and the younger men that are in her space that can't offer her the things that you can offer her. Younger women grade you on a scale. Okay? They grade you on a scale. The number one is sexual attractiveness. Are you keeping yourself looking young? Are you in the gym? Are you dieting correctly? Are you keeping the stress out of your life? Especially if you're an older man between 34 and 44. I'm in that range. That's not my age, but I'm in that range. And you don't have children, you don't have unnecessary stress, and you're successful. And you've been able to prove yourself successful over a period of time, which means that she can land safely with you and not have to worry about struggling. And in conjunction with that, she knows that she's sexually attracted to you, meaning that she's not going to be tempted to cheat on you because you're a full 100% representation of a man that makes her pussy throb. Because you cared and loved about yourself enough to keep yourself looking your best. So she can choose you with no hesitation or reservation. And that's what they're looking for. And that's why I'm trying to explain to you that you, as a sexually attractive man, this is a case for the sexually attractive man and the younger woman. Because that's your match. You're going to get these older women, and some of them are gorgeous, man. They didn't have kids. They didn't kept themselves looking good. But you know in your heart, as you're getting older, you know in your heart that if she was put together in a mentally healthy and spiritual state, she would have quality men in her life and she wouldn't be available to you. You know that. But the fact that she's available to you and she'll give you all of the violin, ooh, oh, my ex-husband did this and I was so perfect, she'll give you all the bullshit. But you sit back because you're a wise man. You've seen some things. And you're like, I'm curious. Why are you not in the space of a quality man if you're still looking good? Because men definitely choose with their eyes first. And you make it be known. Like, yeah, I'm sort of curious why you're still single. And then it doesn't take long, a matter of weeks, as you're a good man to her, you provide a good space to her, everything that's in her is going to come out. All of the insufficiencies that allow her to pair with low-quality men for prolonged periods of time in the prime of her life, and the fact that she could not elevate herself after she left the inferior man, all of that stuff is going to come right into your face. And then the natural conclusion is that, why am I going to deal with this? Even if you didn't necessarily want anything serious with her, you're like, why am I going to deal with this when there's a much more suitable match in terms of the woman who's younger, who doesn't have her residue, and who's just had experiences with low quality men, meaning that she can be guided if she has the inclination, the femininity to want to fall into the space of a masculine, productive man. So it doesn't make sense to even entertain anything older when the younger woman, I hope I made my case, the younger woman is your natural match. She doesn't have the residue. All she's had is experiences, and she's trying to find her way. The older woman, in most cases, have the residue, and they're so far gone in their mind that they think that they can bring the same version of themselves to life that got them the low quality and the low residue results in their life. They think that there's nothing wrong with them. And they can bring that same version of themselves to the next man. And they're magically going to get a attractive, sexually attractive quality man. They're in no man's land. That's why Kevin Samuels, he had his age breakdown and it was so accurate. It was so accurate. That's why they wanted that man dead. He told the truth. He removed women's ability to manipulate. That's why they hated that motherfucker. Rest in peace to the Godfather. I love you. He removed their ability to manipulate. That's why they hated him. He presented a very accurate scale. He said 20, what did he say? Up to 26 to maybe 35. He called that the danger zone. Meaning you still have some youth on your side, but you need to get it together. And then 36 and beyond, he said there's no man's land because there's no quality men there. And he was 1,000% accurate. The older they get, the more fixated in their ways that they get, and the more that they deny the reality that they need to change. And I'm not closing the casket on older women because, like I said, his mother at an advanced age got the revelation, got the reality. She was the problem. She needed to change, and she got a quality man. And I understand that there are some women who watch my channel. And I'm thankful for you all in my comments. And just know that I'm very impartial. I want to see, I want to see all of us thrive. And my women's channel, I've ordered the remainder of my set, and I'm mainly setting it up for you all. And that women's channel will be here within the next, I would say, 14 days or less, okay? So I'm going to give y'all some knowledge too, so hang in there with me. But I'm talking about the natural match. That's what I'm talking about tonight. And this is a case for the sexy, attractive man and the younger woman. She's your match. When you look at all of the probabilities and the realities of this dating game, she's your match. She's still open. Her eyes are still big because youth equates to possibility. And she's intelligent enough to want to instinctively, as a feminine younger woman, avoid the pitfalls of the older women who are purposely misguiding her because they have a quality that the older woman can never regain, which is youth. Youth is congruent with possibility. And so that younger woman's coming to you looking for possibility, even if she was in a two-parent household and her mother emasculated her father and made him her bitch. She knows that that's not the natural course of action. And so you walk in as an older man who's well put together, who loves himself, and who understands that these young women, just because you have money and you're solid, maybe you didn't have any kids, that's not enough, man. You have to represent physical prowess. You have to take her to the bedroom and give her an experience that's not a departure from what them young guys are giving to her. My last girlfriend was 16 years younger than me. She asked me to be in a relationship, and this wasn't too long ago. I'm not going to go too deep into it. And I saw that she was sizing me up. She was having an unconscious conversation, and when her conversation was quelched and she was satisfied, she says, "We're in a relationship." I took her to physical heights. But I was able to provide for her in a way, give her an experience that was a departure from all of the men in her life, even her own father. And she said, "You're the most masculine man I've ever met." So her femininity came into submission and was stimulated. And then she was on the second tier, she was looking to see if there was any departure physically from the men that she deals with her age. And when she saw that there was no disconnect and that there was an elevated experience, even though I was significantly older than her, she chose. I didn't choose her. She chose me. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Men, stop thinking that you're just going to cakewalk through life, get a better job, and your ass is flabby, you're on fucking medication, and all that other shit. You're not going to be a congruent choice for a younger woman who's a more suitable match to you. But when you're in shape, when you're keeping yourself looking good, when you have a level of ambition that solidifies the fact that you're constantly elevating, you've gone through life, you're older than her, so you have the wisdom that represents the guidance to her that she can get optimal and maximum outcomes, you're her match. You're her match. So this is a case for the sexy, attractive man and the younger woman. That's all I tried to do. I gave him my best, man. Maybe you got something from it, man. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you a video tonight just talking about the sexy, attractive man and his natural match with the younger woman. Just making a case for the sexy, attractive man and the younger woman. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to help me get pushed with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. If you are desiring me to talk about a custom topic, I hear you in my comments, okay? Make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App that's in my video description. And leave your subject matter in the note. PayPal and Cash App have notes when you make a donation. Whatever topic you want me to talk about, put it in the note. If your topic is beyond and more in depth than just leaving a note, you still make your $50 or more donation to PayPal or Cash App. And then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more in-depth description of what you want me to talk about. I will parcel it out, go line by line, and when I put the video on my page, Matthew C. Horn Dating, you're going to have your answer, and you're definitely going to get your fucking money's worth. And if you're in need of coaching, don't forget to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space in the body of the email. Just put something along the lines of coaching, so I know that it's a coaching email. When you email me, it's the subject matter. And then I will do an assessment. I'll get right back to you very quickly with the terms of the coaching. And if you agree to the terms, the coaching will begin immediately. I'm thankful to everyone who's beginning coaching. You all have been experiencing breakthroughs. You can see it in my comments, people suggesting my coaching. If there's something specific that you're looking to overcome and my voice resonates with you, then you will experience a breakthrough. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight, and that's essentially all I have, man. Understand that regardless of your age, of the sexually attractive man, you're the optimal man. This is not a fantasy. You can't go through life calling yourself a sexually attractive man unless you're clicking on all cylinders, which is a reflection of the love that you have for yourself and the effort that corresponds with the love that you have for yourself, meaning that you're going to continually get elevated outcomes in every aspect of your life, not just for beautiful women. And with that, you're going to be recognizable to the most youngest, gorgeous, receptive, teachable women who are looking to you for direction and security. I said it as best I could, man. And I'll be back with you all very soon.